Hello and welcome back to On the Workbench. I wanted to do we'll call this is it a 5-year review, give or take, on this MicroJig gripper block. I got this, I want to say it was 4 or 5, maybe slightly more than that years ago. I got a video on this on my channel when I first got it. So I'm going to put a little link or a card up below or up in the corner to that video of my original impressions of it. But so over the last 4 or 5, however long I've had it, I've been very impressed with this, and even with age, the surface on the bottom here is held up. So I've got, I think this is a 1x12 here, and you can see I can slide this around on my workbench just by using the pad on the bottom. I've used this on my table saw, I've used it on the router table. I've even used it a little bit with trying to hold some drywall in place while hanging drywall, and this has been great. These little tabs on the end have held up, and I've been able to drop these down to help move pieces through the table saw. There is the accessory that I never actually got here, which is basically a little piece of plastic that goes over to keep your fingers from coming off the handle and slipping over into a router bit. Not a bad idea to have, I just haven't picked it up or found a need that I needed that or felt like I needed that personally. Your mileage may vary. And in that previous video, I know I showed these push blocks that I had before, and I know there are some folks that have some ways that you can refurbish the bottom of these push blocks, but just for comparison, if I take one of these push blocks and I try to move the same board across my workbench, I'm getting nothing, and there's no extra little shielding here on the side to keep my fingertips from going into a router bit or a blade, and this just slides across. I mean, you generally want a pair, and I've kept both of these around because I had these and they were cheap, and these are about 30 bucks a pop. And again, that green surface on the bottom, I don't know exactly what they put in it or what they had to do to come up with it, but with minimal effort, it still holds it just fine. And so what I've done this year for Christmas 2019 is I actually picked up another one of them, so I can take my white blocks here, and these are going to go in the trash and be thrown away. And now I've actually finally have a full pair of these, and there's been a few small changes. I think they're mostly cosmetic. The adhesive labels are a little different. They're still known as a GB1, and they are still made in the USA. The materials and everything still look very similar. And so even the pattern at the bottom has stayed almost the same. I think the color yellow has darkened up just a little bit, but maybe my old one has faded. So the same brass inserts, and everything else looks to be the same. And so with this new one here, does the exact same thing. And so I'm very happy with this, and that's why I picked up the other one here, because I feel like they have performed just so well for me. I feel a lot safer using these, that I've pretty much abandoned using these a couple years ago just because I felt like the safety wasn't there. But still, these things just collect dust and have basically no friction on them, and they're good for pretty much nothing. For being able to hold, maybe if there's something you just really didn't want any friction on and just want it to be able to have a force in one direction. But otherwise, those cheap budget push blocks, I'm going to be tossing mine and sticking with the MicroJig pair that I have now. So I thought I'd give you that quick update on the MicroJig blocks. Very happy with them. And so I expanded my collection to have a second of them, so I actually have a proper pair, one for each hand. If you got any other thoughts or comments on these, put them in the video description or the little comments box below. And look forward to seeing you back here on another video. Thanks, and have a great day. Bye.